Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Luis and this is Kidiko. It's another day of learning how to embroider. Today, I will be doing something different. Aside from practicing on how to put the hoop in the fabric or which stabilizer to use, I am now learning how to digitize. There are a lot of digitizing software available online, but most of them are expensive. Since I am a beginner, I've been looking for a free digitizing tool to use for embroidery. And I came across an online tool called InStitch. I actually found it through one of the embroidery groups on Facebook and thought I would give it a try. So, just a reminder, I'm still new to embroidery and have very little knowledge, especially especially when it comes to digitizing. So, I guess I have to put it out there. I don't have any art knowledge. I'm not really technical when it comes to like art or especially now digitizing. Actually, my main goal is to learn how to digitize our designs so that we can sell it in the future. So, with that in mind, I am learning how to use embroidery, but I am looking for tools that is free and I don't want to spend that much because digitizing software is really expensive. So, like I said, I've come across InStitch online. So the main goal of today's video is to test how beginner-friendly InStitch is and to see if we can successfully embroider our chosen design. Also, I will be timing myself today to see if it's easy to use as others have claimed. And again, I have to really say this. I am not an expert. Just a quick disclaimer. I am not an expert. Everything that I share today will be my perspective as a beginner and I guess just take it as a grain of salt. Also, this is going to be my first time sharing my screen today, so please bear with me. I'll be sharing my screen to show you the InStitch tool. And once again, feel free to drop your opinions in the comment section down below. So let me know if this free tool can compete with the expensive digitizing software, or you can just share your thoughts on today's episode. If you're interested in InStitch, I will link it in the description down below. And before I forget, this is not a sponsored ad. I am just a beginner looking for free, beginner-friendly software that doesn't gatekeep. So, and with that, let's start the video. Hello! So I've decided to do a voiceover for this part of the video. At first, I thought I would film myself during the process, but I decided not to because I want to fully concentrate on digitizing. That's why I'll be doing a voiceover instead. Before we start, go to cloud.institch.com and sign in. I used my email to log in, and once you're in, scroll down to Doodle software. Next, upload the image of your chosen design. So for us, I will be doing a panda design. I clicked on the ruler tool because I wanted to adjust the image size to fit our 4x4 hoop frame. When resizing the image, make sure to drag the corner of the photo so it keeps its proportions. Then I move it back to the center, that red dot you see on the screen. At this point, I locked the image so it wouldn't move, and I decreased the opacity to make tracing easier. Now we're ready to start tracing the design. I chose Centerline stitch and satin stitch for the stitch type. When I traced it, the placement wasn't perfect, so I clicked Modify Stitches to adjust the nodes. For the nose, I use Fill Stitch and again modified the nodes for the better accuracy. So I clicked on 3D effect just to visualize what the final result might look like. So basically, I use center line stitch and satin stitch for the borders or smaller parts of the design, and fill stitch and tatami stitch for the larger areas like the ears or the rest of the body. And just a reminder, I'm not an expert. I honestly don't know if I'm doing it all correctly. But at this point, we're here to learn together. I just wanted to show you what we can do with InStitch. So, in case you're wondering what I am doing, I just hit the trace that I did earlier. Personally, I find it easier to trace and adjust the nodes without the bottom layer visible. It's totally up to you whether you want it to hide it or not. If you notice, I click on Adjust Stitch Angle. I changed the angle of the white part of the panda to add a bit more detail to the design, especially on the panda's face. I didn't want the black part of the face, like the eyes, to have the same stitch angle as the white base. I think it helps prevent gaps since the stitches overlap with each other. So now we are done with our first panda. On to the next one. I'm going to try another panda design, this time with a different pose. So once again, before we start tracing, we need to check the image size to make sure it fits within our 4x4 hoop. Next, lock the image and lower its opacity. Actually, I changed the width of the satin stitch and removed the rounded start and end points. I forgot to mention this step in the previous design. I used the same strategy as with the first panda, centerline satin stitch for the borders and fill tatami stitch for the ears and other larger areas. It also made things easier when I copied one ear and pasted it to the other side, then made a few adjustments. I did the same for the eyes. Now, this next part was the hardest and took me the longest to digitize the inner white part of the eye. I couldn't get the perfect circle using a satin stitch that goes from thin to thick. Plus, as you might have noticed, I had a hard time adjusting the nodes for the eyes. We're now almost done with our second panda. I forgot to mention earlier, once you're finished with your design, you can save your file as DST Tajima format, which works well with Poolin machines. Let's now check and see if our digitized design using InStitch is successful. So now, finally, we are back. So now, we will be trying out the two designs that I have digitized using InStitch. So we will be using 4x4 hoop for two designs because I have set the size for, I set the size that will fit the 4x4 hoop. And what else? So just letting you know, the materials that I will be using is two cutaway stabilizer, and then I will be using an old fabric that I am trying out, testing different kinds of designs on it using our Poolin machine. So I will be changing the setup because I will be showing you what it looks like on the machine, like the outcome of our digitized designs. And my first hand issue that I have noticed. Here's the close-up of the design that I have digitized using InStitch. So as you can see that there are lines in here, right? On the software, it doesn't show that there will be a line in here. There's a way for us to trim it, but when I have digitized the panda, digitized the design, this part, these three lines, it didn't show. So technically, I'm not sure what happened, but I guess that's why we're here to test the software, if we can use it for digitizing, and in the future, probably we will know how to erase this one. But for now, I will be trying this design and then I will figure it out later. Okay, and since it's only a panda, we can change the color in here. The main reason that I have chosen a different colors for each pattern is that for me to not get confused. But in here we can change it, so that's fine. That looks good. Now I will be fixing the thread, putting on the hoop, and we can start. Oh, a little bit of update. I don't use the automatic needle threader anymore. I just put the thread directly in the hole. I find it easier and faster. See? There you go. Alright, so now we're done with the first design, and I will leave my final thoughts later. But for now, let's change our fabric, put another stabilizer, and then let's do the other design or other panda that we will be doing today. I want to try changing the speed. I'm not sure if it's gonna have like a difference with this if I change the speed. Okay, and then this time around, I didn't mention it before, but the previous design, I have put 7 on the tension. I'm sorry. So in the previous design, I have put 7 on the tension. So for now, let's try 4. Hopefully there's no thread pulling or other tension problems. But for now, let's try it out. So now we're done with the second design. I will try to clean this part. I will give my overall thoughts later once I'm done cleaning this part, or let's see if we can still clean it. I think this is my mistake. So I will see you in a bit. So now let's give our final thoughts. Okay, so for the first design, for the first panda, as you can see, there's a thread pulling in here, and in this side you can see the bobbin pop up. For this one, I think it is my mistake. I have put the tension on 7. It is quite tight. I think, if I remember, in this part, after the bobbin showed up, I have changed the tension to 4. So I guess in a way, the rest turns out okay. It doesn't, we cannot see any of the gaps, but yes, for the rest in this side, especially on the black ones, we can see that there's gap. And other than this, other than that, we can see the thread pulling. So it might be my mistake. Also, what I've noticed, as you can see on the monitor in this side, I thought that like this line is going to show, but again, there's no line. It didn't go through, so I didn't make a mistake after all. So for this, I think this is my mistake, most of it, but I guess it's okay. Like for my first time using InStitch and even digitizing, it turns out okay. And then let's see the next one. This looks good. So I can, if you remember before, we can see that there's like a stitch in here. I have cleaned it up, so it turns out okay. So for other than on this side, I don't know what happened. So the tension for this panda design is on 4, so it's quite all right because we don't see any gaps, right? Other than this, I don't know what happened. It might be because I changed the angle for this, so it might be a digitizing problem. Other than that, everything looks okay. At the very least, it looks okay for me. If you see it like this, it's okay, except for the top part. But if like on this side, it's just that there's like, we can still see the white part at the bottom. But like I said, other than that, for my first time digitizing and using InStitch, I'm not that disappointed with the outcome of my designs. So here are my final thoughts about InStitch. I am a beginner in embroidery and I am currently learning how to digitize. In my opinion, using InStitch is easy. And it's really great for beginners, especially since it's a free software available to everyone. So that's a huge advantage for me since I don't want to spend too much on a digitizing software, especially when there aren't many affordable options out there. Plus, I have noticed hiring someone to digitize your design can get expensive in the long run. Before I forget, remember when I said that I will time myself using InStitch to see how long will it take for me to digitize the design? So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it took me 30 minutes for each design. So, I will show my actual times in here. So, in my opinion, there's still room for improvement for InStitch. This is the part that I have the most problem with. So, okay, here's the examples that I think that they can improve later on. So, the first one is the fill stitch. So, I had to overlap certain designs in the panda, for example, like the eyes. Also, I had the most problem with their Bezier tool or their pencil tool, because I think if you can notice in the video, I think it lags. So I'm trying my best to accurately trace it on the edge or on the border, if that makes sense, on the border or on the edge, but it tends to not go on that area, if that makes sense. So for me, I think it kinda lags or it tends to lag. I'm not sure if it's my internet connection or the software itself, but it slowed things down. And then if you can notice in the video, that's where I took a long time. But then again, even though that it's not accurately on the border itself or on the edge itself, if that makes sense, I can adjust the nodes, which is easier or which is easy. But in my opinion, if I can do it on one go and then adjust or have a little bit of adjustment later on, I think that is better than the one that I'm doing with InStitch. with all that in mind, what do you guys think about InStitch? What do you guys think about this free software that we can use? Is it good for digitizing? Can we do a lot of things in it? Because like I said before, I am a beginner, and for me, this is my thoughts on it. But if you are an expert, or if you know how to digitize itself, what do you guys think? You can also, if you have a digitizing software that you can recommend for me that I can try, that is also a beginner friendly, you can let me know in the comment section down below. So I guess this is the end of today's episode. So I hope you have fun watching this episode. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. And like I said before, you can let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section down below. If you want to see more from us, please subscribe to our channel. And I hope I see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.